Tired of the same old radio talk show? There is an alternative. This is Gonzo Radio.
How you doing? Remember me? I'm over here now. Welcome to the Gonzo Radio Show. Back again. Man, there has been a lot going on since the last time I graced your airwaves. First and foremost is that we have managed to elect a new president without getting too overly political. I think it's safe to say that we've gotten an upgrade. But welcome to the show. There's going to be some changes, some upgrades that are happening. They're in effect as we speak. It's not going to be the same old Gonzo Radio show that it was before. As with all things, things must evolve. They must advance, progress, if you will. Tonight's guest, who is he's a noob to the podcast thing, he's a noob to the comedy thing, and it's making him crazy. It's driving his OCD through the ceiling right now. He's both excited, nervous, and I have no idea why you're taking fucking notes. But welcome, Tommy K, to the program.
Thank you. They're still calling it OCD?
It's OCD, ADHD, I don't know, PDQ. Well, it's not LGBTQ. It's
double G.
D-O double G, yes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I've actually been interested in having you on the show in some way, shape, or form, or maybe even the sports show in some way, shape, or form in the past, because
you're turning me on now.
You have an expertise when it comes to sports. You are pretty good at handicapping multiple professional sports.
Okay.
You have played college baseball. I mean,
briefly.
You know your stuff. Go ahead, look at the camera. Say hi to the nice people.
Hello, nice people.
I'm
not so nice
I'm not
people.
trying to make him nervous. I swear.
I'm not nervous.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're not nervous. So, Tommy, you are, of course, full disclosure, he's a close personal friend of mine, like half the people that are on this podcast are. I just happen to know a lot of interesting fucking people, okay? Sorry. I go out places and I do things, even during COVID. And that's one of the reasons why you're starting to see the show again, is because I'm getting out and circulating. I'm feeling better, closer to normal. I'm out seeing my old comedy friends. Which, by the way, hi everybody. I know that at least a few comics watch this, because they're like, "Oh, does this podcast suck?" He asked me to be on this podcast. Does it suck? No, it doesn't suck. Big shout outs. Shout outs to all kinds of people. Let's see. Let's go down the list. Let's see. My homegirl Rochelle. Let's see. Danielle in Las Vegas. I didn't give a location for Rochelle. She's in southern Massachusetts, freezing her ass off. She hates it. And big shout out. So, of course, the show that preceded us, the Blame Girl podcast with Terry Wayne and the hostess with the mostess, Giovanni Neal. Fantastic show tonight. It's podcasted. It's uploaded right now. Don't go watch it now. Wait till after you watch this, then you can watch that. They had Nico Bowling on. I watched bits and pieces of it while I was prepping the show, and Nico is still nuts. So big shout out to all y'all. And let's get started with the ripping and the tearing there, Mr. Kleinman. Yes, K stands for Kleinman.
Mr. Kleinman's my father. First of all.
Okay, yeah, and I'm still Gonzo.
I'm just Tommy.
You're just Tommy. So, I mean, just who tell the people who you are. I mean, you're a University of Florida alum.
Correct. I grew up I was born in Staten Island, so originally a New Yorker, grew up in Long Island, learned how to talk in Long Island, moved to Jersey when I was a young kid, northwestern New Jersey, like exit 9, one of
Thus
those
your
deals.
unfortunate love for the New York Mets.
Correct. And so
and
eventually,
don't worry, it's not going to be a sports show tonight, I swear.
eventually, was the product of divorce, and then came to Florida kicking and screaming with my mom and younger brothers, and made a life for me in
Like
Florida.
every other middle-aged person in South Florida.
Right.
Every grown adult here, I'm telling you right now, our generation, it's amazing. Our generation, because Tommy and I are both the same age. Our generation, it's amazing. You go back and look at parents of our friends, and dad's on his third wife. Mom is alone, but had 2 ex-husbands. Yeah. One was dad, and one was the guy after dad. And then finally, she had enough of everybody's crap, and she eventually became a cougar in the 80s or 90s. So yeah, it's.
They're cougars in their 90s too. My grandfather was a
was
male cougar.
90s.
Well, my grandfather was a male cougar
you can
in
say
his
I'm
90s.
a male cougar. What do you mean?
I mean, when he was in his 90s, he had girlfriends after my grandma passed.
Of course.
I mean, where he would shower with them and stuff.
Right on.
Like 94 years old.
Go Pops.
I know. God bless him.
Yeah, well, and hopefully that's us too.
Right.
We should all be so lucky.
Yeah.
So you come to South Florida.
Came to South Florida, went to Piper High, which was your rival school at the
sort
time.
of a rival with Coral Springs High School.
Which is in Sunrise.
Right, in the home of WKPX.
Correct.
By the way, a radio station I first came on.
I remember all the stars that were originally there in 1980 and 81. Including the guy who taught the class. I had to come in and do a lot of voiceovers for the theater department, which I was a big part of at the time. So I remember it well, and it became. I'm really proud of it. It became a great station.
Well, so you've been a ham for forever. You've been a ham from the jump.
I did theater in high school, but
college.
A little bit in college. I did a little bit of theater in college, and.
Turn your harmonica off. He's new.
And what happened was, after my freshman year, I had a tough summer and decided to pledge a fraternity, and I was never the same. So that took my theater aspirations and threw them out the window. So my fraternity days are filled with about 100 stories that I could tell, but again, this is for another time in another place. And then, luckily,
or this could be the time and place.
Well,
we
a
tell
few of them, yeah. We only have an hour though, so you're going to need me for part 2, part 3, part 4.
Excuse me, but the Gonzo Radio Network is my network. Okay, I dictate my own schedule here. I may not be able to dictate much in the way of my own schedule anywhere else in my life.
Good. Perfect.
But here I am the fucking boss.
And let's pre-produce part 2, 3, and 4.
Screw that. The boss wants to do the show. The boss wants to do the show for 2 hours, and the boss is going to do the show for 2 hours.
So I finished high school, and this brings me to my comedic career. So I finished high school, and I was the kid growing up in Jersey that the teachers either loved or hated because I couldn't stop talking. So some of them got me. They understood me. They loved me. Some of them hated me. And I knew very quickly which ones they were. I don't know if any of them are even alive anymore. But
and they
growing
made it
up
abundantly clear.
In high school, I figured out how to make most of my teachers like me, whether it was through chicanery or through genuine, heartfelt warmth or something.
No alcohol
like
or narcotics involved?
Not in high school.
Maybe in college, maybe a little bit.
College, definitely a lot. But in high school, alcohol, a little. I even had my own drink. The girls called it a Tommy K. No lie. I'm telling you, I'm sending it to Jody's. I'm sending it to all the girls out there. Tommy K's were a cross between a half a beer and a half a strawberry soda. So the girls would be able to drink a beer.
Oh, okay.
With us.
I think they call those White Claws now.
Whatever they are now.
You were
back
the
in
inventor of the White Claw.
1982 or 1980, early something.
A fruit-flavored malt
The
beverage.
girls of Piper High knew what a Tommy K was.
I think White Claws are seltzers now, I think, or some crap like that.
Yeah.
That's it. We now have the inventor of the White Claw.
I should have patented Tommy K back then.
Well, and I know for a fact there was somebody, oh God, what was his name? It was like Gary something. He invented a drink where he put Sprite in a wine cooler. And that's it. He was a genius. He got me laid one time.
Wow.
He got everybody laid with his invention. Because, back in high school, 16, 17-year-old, even 18-year-old girls, they're impressed by very little. It takes very little to impress them. So you do something interesting and it involves alcohol, which of course back in our day, wine coolers were the shit. Okay, the White Claw of the era.
Right.
So you invented the Tommy K in college. Now in
high school.
High school. Oh.
Right. In college, for the first time, because I realized alcohol.
Graduated to hard alcohol and hard drugs.
Well, yeah, hard alcohol, yeah, I turned into a bourbon freak for a while, but I was trying to become an alcoholic. It just didn't take, unfortunately.
It didn't take.
You're
a failed alcoholic.
Not from lack of effort, I promise you.
Hi, my name is Tommy. Hi, Tommy.
I have
I'm not an
witnesses out
alcoholic.
there. They can call. If this show was a call-in show, your phone would be ringing off the hook right now.
I understand that.
So,
that's partly by design.
Because alcohol tends to dehydrate me more than the average earthly human being, I tended to drift and tried for the first time right before I was 21, actually, marijuana. Yeah, and that's what it was for me before then. And then once I tried it, I was in Coral Springs, actually,
13.
on a spring
And Coral
break
Springs.
with a guy that went to Coral Springs High School, fraternity brother of mine, who basically gave it to me, asked me to try it, to judge it, asked me what I was thinking, what I heard. Because all I could hear was
the cool
crickets.
kids are doing it.
Yeah. I heard crickets, and he looked at me and said, "Okay, you're stoned. That's good. Let's go have fun."
You're like,
So now every time I hear a cricket, I think back to that night, like a famous Amos cookie, Peru, 1984.
that was a good cookie.
That was a good cookie.
All right, so you get to college.
Got to college.
You engage in a little bit of drama class.
I did. I loved it. I made actually good friends. One of my teachers, his name is Wayne. I don't want to say his full name because he may hate me, but him and I used to watch Sam Kinison videos and listen to Sam Kinison records and get stoned and drink beer. And he was one of my professors, and he actually gave me a B+.
All right.
So I don't
Probably
know whether
deserved a C.
Yes. Okay. I
deserves
never
a
thought of it
C.
that way. I thought I would get an A, but
But
yeah.
he couldn't bring himself to do it.
Yeah.
And B+ just sounds so positive.
Right, because A just would have been too much.
Nobody would have believed that.
All right.
A-?
So I took some classes. I did a couple shows. I loved it. I flew back to New Jersey during the summer to be with my dad and my stepsisters and my brothers, who by then had all moved back to New Jersey. And,
Had enough of South Florida.
Well, for a few weeks anyway. And so, when I got back, my dad basically pulled me aside and said, "Look, if you want to major in theater, let me do this. Let me give you 20 grand in cash now. Come move up to New York and be an actor." Really.
Yeah, well, and New York City was the place to be.
And I liked college because it was free and it was easy. And, I could order pizzas anytime I wanted to. And the girls, I never got all the girls I wanted, but I got all the girls that wanted me, back then. So. Isn't
that the name of the game?
Yeah. Yeah. So I pledged a fraternity, and
go ahead. What's the fraternity name?
Sigma Nu.
Sigma Nu.
Sigma Nu, and 99% good times and 1% heartache, but the 99.
Well, the heartache has got a story, I'm sure.
Wow, everything has a story. There's a lot of stories that are going to get fleshed out.
Yeah, of course.
But,
you've got notes, for fuck's sake. Listen. People who know you know that you are famous for being verbose. Okay,
correct.
You like to talk. You like to tell stories. You like to tell jokes, anecdotes. You and being from the same generation, you do a lot of material that we do as well. Caddyshack lines, Looney Tunes lines. Just all the same crap that we do. So, and for that, you're part of my social group anyway.
Right.
All right. But you're your need to perform moved into the sports arena because you were a member of the Florida Gators baseball team.
Yeah, so what happened was I was pretty good in high school, and I hurt myself my junior year, and I got sick the beginning of my senior year.
Right.
But for Broward County, I did really well pitching and hitting. And my grandfather wrote the new coach. His name was Joe Arnold.
Right.
This is, I think, 1983. He wrote the new coach a letter with all my statistics from the Sun Sentinel, or back what Fort Lauderdale News, whatever it was called back then, and West Broward paper and
Your
all that stuff.
impressive ERA.
All that stuff from freshman year on. So Joe wrote me, the coach wrote me a handwritten letter that said, "Hey, we can take all the pitching we can get. Come on out." And I remember thinking to myself, number one, that's great. Number two, I'm not just a pitcher. Of course, I couldn't run, but I could hit. So I tried out for the team. Did real well hitting, actually. Did okay pitching, but they kept me along for weeks because they needed a bunch of pitchers. So eventually I got worn out and my shoulder hurt again, and I had to give up my baseball
run, so
career.
you stretched a lot of doubles into singles.
Yes. Yeah. They didn't let me touch a bat at the University of Florida.
Oh,
They
okay.
barely let
I
me
was gonna
touch a
say-
ball at the University of
I
Florida.
was going to say, you lace one into the gap, and the first base coach is going, go, go, go.
No,
You're like, no, coach, I'm
that was
good.
Yeah, that was before my fraternity days. So
Oh,
then
okay.
once I pledged the fraternity, those days almost were like long gone, because then I decided on purpose that I was just going to test out the boundaries of mankind and just to find out how long I could last at the University of Florida without actually matriculating. So I went from a theater major to a architect major to an advertising major, and thankfully along the way, when my fraternity eventually asked me politely, like, it's time to go, like, enough, there's enough stories here. You're going to be remembered forever. Go. So I could get a job. So I wound up, one of my best friends, my best man actually, and my fraternity brother got me a job at a restaurant. And that's where I met my wife, my current wife. So,
Oh,
yeah.
well, now we're getting matrimonial about it.
Mm.
Well, you were obviously trying the John Blutarsky method.
0.00.
0.00.
Well, I got A's
and
in
you
all the
spent 6
classes I
years.
liked. Right. I spent probably more than 6 years, but I
Van Wilder spent 6 years.
Yes. Yeah, I spent 6 years probably just in my fraternity. But my GPA was either all A's or all F's. So there was
it's
no
2.
middle ground. Right. Whatever
Cumulative
the
GPA
middle
was
is,
2.1.
That's where I was. So thankfully I met someone who can control me. And then, so what happened was all these years I went uncreative. The only creative outlet I had from then on was mixtapes, which you remember those.
Right.
That started at, cassette version and then went over to the CD player.
Sure. We did that a lot.
Yep. So that was
the kids call them playlists now.
My kids call them TK specials still.
TK specials?
Yeah. I had a cute name for all of them, So
Okay.
usually named after song. One of them was called.
Well, they call them TK specials for you,
Correct.
but they're called playlists.
Okay.
When they're
Yes.
when they're talking to their friends.
So the current vernacular.
My playlist is
Good.
fire, dude.
Good.
This playlist is fire.
Yes. So I came out with.
Should I get an extinguisher?
And I was the guy that made copies. I had the dual cassette players, so I was
Yeah,
I was able to make copies for all my friends. Like they wanted a
See,
TK
you were a
special.
DJ like I was back when you were a teenager.
Yeah, well, I didn't think of myself as that. I thought of myself as a mood maker.
A mood maker.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because by the time I started making tapes, I was already a stoner.
Right.
So
you were the kid with good weed, and every time you brought it, here, dude, put this in.
and
your
I
stereo.
knew good music, or I listened to good music that
Right.
other people said, "Hey, listen to this." So
Right.
no matter what it was, if it was rap, it was on a mixtape.
Dream Theater.
If
dude,
it was
you gotta listen to
Motown,
Dream
if it
Theater.
was country, if it was metal, if it was anything.
Steely Dan.
I saw them live, so my wife and I have a list of all the shows we saw live.
Walter Becker.
So then my creative outlet not only was mixtapes, but then it became being a funny dad to my 4 kids. Like I was I worked at a summer camp for years. So to have a microphone in front of me, I'm waiting for like the mess hall for everybody, all the kids to be quiet so I could say a few jokes and, get them back to their cabins so they can, take a nap or, clean up or something. So I was...
so you were an attention whore from a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. The microphone was always my best friend. I always have something to say. I think one of my friends once said that I never have an unspoken thought ever.
No.
So
I can attest to that.
Let's see what we can think of in the hour.
Well, we've been friends for a while here, but we've been hanging out a lot lately because I've kind of been coaching you through the whole comedy scene,
thankfully,
through the whole stand-up comedy bit, because you've been performing and performing well. You've got 2 under your belt at Gypsy Moon?
2 at Gypsy Moon, 1 at one of those, dirt brown coffee wannabe
Kava
places.
bar.
Yeah, Kava bar.
At a Kava bar.
First and maybe last time ever at one of those places.
Why?
They don't have beer there.
Oh, so?
and then the other place was in Pompano, right? We went to. Or was it Lake Worth at Brogues? Lake Worth.
Brogues.
Yeah.
Brogues
so
down under.
2 of them were open mics. One of them I took a little seriously. I didn't bring any notes. Like I thought it was like a real performance.
Both were great open mics because one's run by Nick Masick and the other one's run by Jackie Sanchez.
And they run them so well too.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick had what in the neighborhood of 30 comics on the list.
Incredible.
And we had to leave Brogues at like number 25 or number 26,
right?
Which I felt horrible about because Giovanni, the host of the other show on the network, one of the other shows on the network, Giovanni Neal hadn't gone up yet, and I wanted to hear some of her newer material. I hadn't seen her, in a while, and everybody's always happy to see me because I don't come out,
right?
And they
they love
surprised.
You. I mean, that was I'll tell you, you made me feel really comfortable, and I latched onto you right away because of your experience, but also just because your personality. And it just turns out I chose wisely because you know everybody. I mean, literally, people were walking up to you left and right. It was great.
They're like, oh my God, Gonzo's still alive.
Yeah. But this whole comedy bit just came up out of, literally me being bored, not working out at a gym in a long time, since COVID. And I joined LA Fatness and I started working out, and all my endorphins and whatever those things that come out of
Let's call them juices.
The juices started flowing again. And I was at Gypsy Moon, where I'm kind of like the cross between Cliff and Norm.
Yeah, you are me at Gypsy Moon.
I'm the guy that drinks all the time there and has the little quips and gives all these little young whippersnappers a little history lesson.
He wants, really.
Yeah, pretty much. I love that.
That's your neighborhood bar, though.
Yes, it is. So I was there. I was drinking. The guy that run the place said, and they've had open mics there, and I just ignored them because most of the comedians, I just wasn't interested. I was there with my friends or talking to my wife or something. So he said, we're having a comedy contest. We're going to limit it to the first 20 people online sign up. I said, well, how long do you have to talk? He says, you got 5 minutes. Good luck. And I'm like, 5 minutes? Like, can I go longer? He goes, what are you talking about? You'll be lucky to even have 5 minutes to talk.
I'm laughing hard because when you first told me this, I said open mic. I've immediately thought 5 minutes because I've done a few myself. And when the guy acted, he acted like 5 minutes was a big deal. I was like, we get 5 minutes when he walks through the door. When Tommy comes over, say on a football Sunday or whatever, we get 5 minutes before he takes a breath when he walks through the door. We get the latest NFL news injury report. We get whatever happened to the Gators the day before. We get a funny thing that happened with the wife or the kids, or at Gypsy Moon, or with one of his friends out there in Pembroke Pines. And I was like, he does 5 minutes when he shows up.
Yeah, I
5
gotta.
minutes isn't going to hurt.
I
you
gotta
know?
let everybody know where I stand. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like,
of course.
whenever
And
you
it's
walk
never
into
boring.
a room, whether it's one person or 300 people,
Right.
you gotta let them know where you stand.
Right. Well, it's never
You
boring
know?
because if it was, I'd be the first person to tell you, hey, shut the
So
fuck up and
to
watch
get
the TV.
to get back to the the
Right.
comedy thing. So what happened? I started this creative process where I could come up with 5 minutes. I don't know if it's funny. I don't know if I'm a funny guy, but I know how to tell a story and
Pick a topic, any topic.
Right. And so I came up with a topic and I threw it out there, and something had happened to me a week before that I was all pissy about, like really pissy. Like I wanted to write a letter to this grocery store.
Right.
And then I already came up with 2 other bits that I was going to do for this thing, and I had them all mapped out in my mind. I drew them out. I have note after note after note. I ran them by a friend. They loved both of my ideas. And then 2 days before the actual event, I turned around and said, that grocery store event, that was funny if it wasn't me.
But guess what? It's funny if it is you.
And I made it was me. And I don't think people thought it was a true story, but I told them about, waiting in line. And I have a YouTube page called Tommy K that you can go see. So far I'm actually talking
Like and
about
subscribe.
my experience. Yeah, I'm talking about my experience like it's a diary in
A
a
vlog.
sense.
The kids
Yeah.
call them a vlog, the VLOG vlog.
Yeah, so if you read the description of the videos, and again, I almost want people to not like it and give me criticism. I know it sounds weird, but
you're a glutton for punishment.
yeah, I know I am, especially going out in the public like this. But if you're going to be true to the craft, because really, ultimately, there's only 2 things a comic wants. Number 1 is to make people laugh, and number 2 is girls. And since I've been married, for 32 years, I just want to make people laugh. So
Well, and you do a pretty good job of it, I have to say. Your stories are funny and anecdotal and relatable. You check off a lot of boxes when it comes to being a comic or being a successful performer. You write a lot. You tell relatable stories. But like I have pounded into your head over and over and over again, is that you've got to bring punchlines. You've got to bring punchlines. You've got to bring clearly funny. Because you will tell a story that is a funny setup after funny setup after funny setup after funny setup. And then the end
that's
is
a
just
good bit unto itself.
regular. I've seen a bit where somebody just does all setups, and they're old like knock joke setups,
Oh yeah, no.
So
My writing is very stream of consciousness, because unlike I stopped after the classics. I don't watch current comedy, much to my wife's chagrin, because she loves Sebastian and she loves Bill Burr. Yes.
yeah,
And
Bill
she-
Burr. Oh,
and-
Bill Burr. Bill
right.
Burr's a fucking riot.
So I stopped. George Carlin was my idol. Jerry Seinfeld,
are
Sam
they your
Kinison, Red
direct
Fox,
influences?
Andy Kaufman. Yes, I take. Yes, every time I have
Not
an
just a
idea.
fanboy, they're your direct influence.
Yes. I think about Red Fox. I think about Richard Pryor. I always think about George Carlin, because I want my humor to be not just set up, story, joke. I'm an essayist. I'm a storyteller, but
Ooh, fancy. You
I
used
can
essayist.
I can do physical comedy. Like, to
Right.
me, that's just as important, because
Well.
they're watching you. You got the whole audience staring at you, and my stories always involved my whole body, actually, naturally. So
Well.
in my mind, I see it all. I can't always produce, or maybe not. You
Right.
know, but
well,
we'll
listen,
see.
you're living proof that the old adage, those who can do, those who cannot teach. I'm a pretty good coach when it comes to certain things.
You're an excellent coach.
And one thing that you do use when you are a coach or an instructor is you use relatable stuff that is relatable from other things that are in your skill set, And the one thing that I have told you is that you, being the pitcher that you were in high school and college, to stay in one fucking place. You are such a ball of energy when you get up there on stage. You are an absolute lunatic. And when I first saw you, when we were at the Kava Bar, okay, and when I saw you, the first video of you at Gypsy Moon for the contest, I was like, stay in one friggin' place for 5 seconds.
I keep thinking George Carlin and Sam Kinison. They couldn't
but
stay
they're playing
in place.
huge rooms.
But in my mind, it doesn't
rooms are
matter
huge,
to
I
me.
know.
It doesn't matter to me if it's
Right.
one person or I said 300 or 400. Like, I see my comedy the way I write. In my mind, I see the finished product already done. It's complete.
Right.
It's already funny. The only thing I don't know is if I'm funny, if I can do the funny bit.
Well,
The bit is funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm funny yet. That's what I'm working on, thanks to you.
That's the leg, and the
Yeah.
leg up you
Yeah.
have. Listen, you are also another, I guess metaphorically, it's like a pitcher that can throw 100 miles an hour. Okay? You got to start getting it over the plate. That's all. You can throw 100 miles an hour. You do. You know, I mean, with pitchers, what's hard to get? Velocity and location. Okay? Velocity and location. You got velocity for days. You're going to get, but your location is getting there. You wrote jokes for this last performance
Yes.
at Gypsy Moon.
I did.
You wrote actual jokes.
And I had people
And that shit made me
eliminate the
laugh.
crap ones.
Well, hey, listen, you had a great percentage because you handed me about, what, 12 jokes?
Correct.
Right. And I only
Pick
threw away three. Yeah.
And I'm changing all three of them to make sure that you don't throw them away again.
Okay,
Because
well,
they're funny somehow. I know it.
They're funny to you. But
Wow.
that's a good percentage, bro. Let me tell you that right now.
Well,
that is a good percentage.
to go through my latest one, because my latest one consensuously seems like it's my best one. It's my most polished one.
Is it a one-liner?
No, it's the Uncle Funny Sonny's online comedy class. And
Show everybody on the camera. Show everybody. Yeah, show the camera. Homemade manual.
And then, so what I did was, you know, I took him through the process, one step at a time, you know, all through 20.
And he made the process a bit.
Yeah. So what happened was,
Go ahead, fix your microphone. You don't have to follow your microphone down. You can push it up.
yeah,
There you
when
go.
I
Okay.
when I wrote the bit, I wrote it out of panic because of all the crap you kept telling me about writing jokes. So I kept thinking to myself, now I get to do 7 minutes. I'm not going to remember 7 minutes of stuff. I'm going to stop there like hamana, like Eddie Murphy. You know, like, what am I going to do? You know? So I thought to myself, I need to go maybe online and like check out how to write a joke. And then I thought, ding, I got it. Not only did I figure it out, but I figured out that it would be so easy because all I got to do is read off it and react to it, and maybe remember how many jokes? 9.
9.
But I did. I
5
remembered
wife
them.
jokes, which were pretty tight.
Yeah, and the biggest criticism was, you know, lay off of your wife.
Why?
Exactly.
Why? Come on, think about how many. Listen,
I have 100 more
think
wife
about
jokes.
how many super successful comedians have at least a big part of their set is about their wife.
You know,
I mean, a bunch.
between my wife and I, we are like that Sinatra song. I have been up and down and over and out.
Right.
And through it all, she has unbelievably stuck by me. So yeah,
And-
I throw all the jokes at her first. Matter of fact, she comes up with some of them.
Well, that's fine.
I know.
That's great. I mean, where would Jeff Foxworthy be? Where would oh God, where would Rodney Dangerfield be? Where would Henny Youngman be if they didn't have wife jokes?
Oh, speaking of Jeff Foxworthy, can I run over like a quick new bit that I just wrote. It's kind of Foxworthy-esque.
You got to start it off with my wife.
Well, I was actually, again, I take my inspiration from what came before, like any artist, every theater person.
Right.
If you don't know Laurence Olivier, you're not doing Hamlet now or
Sir
Shakespeare
Laurence
now. Right.
Olivier.
If you don't know Picasso, you don't know Michelangelo, you don't know Da Vinci, who are you? Stop. Go away.
Right.
So I took my inspiration from that line Jeff Foxworthy uses. Go ahead, say it. You do it better than me.
What? My wife? Oh, no. Oh, you might be a redneck.
Right. You might be a and then Bill Maher, one of my favorite comedians. He's political. I'm not really political at all, but he has this bit called, I don't know it's a fact, I just know it's true.
Right.
Which he doesn't do all the time, but I was thinking to myself, man, I need a tag, I need a hook. And I came up with one, and this is it. I'm pretty sure, but I don't want to know. So I got a few. Let me know, should I keep going or should I stop?
Sure.
Some are going to be cheesy, but I wrote like 8 pages of the stuff.
We're debuting new material right here on the Gonzo Radio Show.
I'm pretty sure my dog eats the cat's poop, but I don't want to know.
Oh, God. That's a groaner. Okay.
I'm pretty sure when I'm still half asleep in the morning and something's pawing on my penis above the blanket, it's the cat. But I don't want to know.
You just keep your eyes closed.
I'm pretty sure my 16-year-old son is not just bathing in the shower for 45 minutes, but I don't want to know. I'm pretty sure that's not a banana in your pocket, but I don't want to know. I'm pretty sure every 9-year-old picks his nose and eats it, but I don't want to know.
And we don't want to see that shit either.
Here's a good one.
Train
My youngest is a scuba diver. This one's for him. I'm pretty sure scuba diving farts end up in your face mask, but I don't want to know. Oh yeah, here's my only political joke. Ready?
Here we go.
I'm pretty sure Jews don't have space lasers, but I don't want to know.
You don't want to find that out the hard way. Like, is it hot in here?
I'm pretty sure what Scoutmaster Chuck is doing alone in the tent in the middle of the night, but I don't want to know.
Well, you might take pictures and use blackmail, but
And then you have the basic ones. It's kind of like no arms, no legs jokes, where we can do a whole hour of those. But I'm pretty sure where that brown spot on your pants came from, but I don't want to know. So
Right.
even you can do like a 101. I don't want to know.
I want to hear 5 minutes worth of this bit.
All right, so
No, not now.
well, let me do a few more.
All right, but we have other stuff to get to. But go ahead. Oh. We're going to get to RUFKM here in a minute. But okay, go. Give it. Make them funny.
All right. Well, here's some
Amuse us.
Here's some bar specific jokes that I would say like in bars, right?
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that someone just farted in this joint, but I don't want to know. All right.
You can smell it.
I'm pretty sure that the guy that just got up in the middle of my set to take a dump is going to take a dump, but I don't want to know. Like,
Or how about you take it another way? The guy who's just got up to go to the bathroom is really going outside to smoke a joint, but I don't want to know.
Oh,
I might want to join him.
Exactly. I do want to know that one, though.
See?
Well, I'm pretty sure that my bleeding burger is made of soy, but I don't want to know.
My favorite hamburger is made of soy. Bleh.
I'm pretty sure that underpaid fast food cook spit on my food, but I don't want to know.
You definitely don't want to know that.
I'm pretty sure that the masks you've all been wearing haven't been clean for days, but I don't want to know.
Weeks.
I'm pretty sure this bar waters down at the beer, but I don't want to know. That would get me in trouble.
I would go with liquor, not beer. Waters down the liquor.
I'm pretty sure that sea turtle I helped rescue last week will be dead within 1 minute after its release, but I don't want to know.
Well, you went a little dark with it. All right.
I'm pretty sure that the pet shrink my wife hired is fleecing us, but I don't want to know.
It makes her happy.
And then, of course, for the youngsters these days, now that everybody's got a license, I'm pretty sure that's not pipe tobacco in that pipe, but I don't want to know.
He's got a card, old man.
I'm pretty sure that my $200 Nike kicks were made by a 9-year-old, But I don't want to know.
That's a good one. Very
So,
nice.
okay, so out of the 20 I read off, how many would get a laugh? Give me a new percentage, because it's not 9 out of 12.
I'm gonna give you 6.
Exactly. So
6 or 7.
that's more realistic,
And it's
isn't
counting a groaner,
Right.
And like I told you before, a groan is as good as a laugh.
So now think about it. If I write 100 more of these, right?
right,
Let's do the math.
you can do 2 minutes of them.
That's it.
Why not?
Oh, right. Even
They're fast.
Foxworthy
They're
and Bill
one-liners.
Maher don't do more than 2 minutes.
They're
of them.
one-liners.
You're
They're like
right.
knock-knock
I just
jokes.
got to now memorize them, don't
Right.
I? But if I ever get big, I'll have like a monitor, right, where I just read the crap off, or no?
I guess you'll remember them. You have a good memory.
I do, but not stuff that I have to remember. Only
Right.
stuff that I want to remember.
Right.
You know.
Now, I'm sure that as we deftly segue to RUFKM, I'm sure that Cam Newton is going to get another starting job in the NFL. But I don't want to know. Let's get to RUFKM and see about this.
So,
all right.
so the official RUFKM is about Cam Newton.
Right.
Are you fucking kidding?
Are you FKM? Are you
fucking kidding me?
So, to set it up for you, Cam Newton, the former quarterback of the New England Patriots, had a rough year last year. A lot of quarterbacks had a rough year last year, because of COVID. No full training camp, no ability to train freely and openly in the public. Things are kind of loosening up, and now they're having quarterback camps. And all the NFL quarterbacks do this, and Cam has had his for quite a while. And Cam, yesterday, he encountered a young man who had an opinion about how his career is going, and went like this.
You ass, you're a free agent. You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You're a free agent. I'm rich. You're a free agent. I'm rich. He's a free agent. Where your daddy at? Let me talk to your dad. Let me talk to your dad. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You ass.
Talk to. Let me. Where's your dad? Where's your pop?
Now, young man was talking some smack. He was being a wise ass. Now, we know with you, of course, being the father to multiple teenage sons, can you explain to me what the hell is with kids these days? I mean, seriously.
First of all, that's the first time I ever saw that.
Oh, well,
so
you're welcome.
I have 3 huge, right off the top of my head, opinions,
Right.
each from a different angle. The first angle comes from the father, because when I was a little kid,
Beat your ass.
in 1977, I must have been 11 or 12, and I got my ass kicked by the next door neighbor's dad because I was harassing my brother and his friends really, really badly.
Being obnoxious.
Not only being obnoxious, but like physically abusing them. We had
He's
this
being a little
pool,
asshole.
a big one.
Oh, okay.
And this guy wound up picking me up over his head and throwing me into the pool just to get me out of the scene. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, wow. And, through the years, it takes a village. I go back to that day. You know
Right.
what? That incident hurt me on so many levels, but it also taught me a lesson about respect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's number 1. Number 2, Bobby Boucher's mama would tell Cam Newton that he plays a game called foosball. And he gets paid a lot of dollars to play that game, foosball. And Bobby Boucher's mama don't like that game, foosball. So Cam Newton, when you play foosball for lots and lots of money, a game that Bobby Boucher's mama don't like to play, all bets are off.
Well, he fired back, he clapped back at the kid. I'm rich. Okay, and
that brings me to number 3. When you have to tell a 14-year-old kid
16,
that
the kid was 16.
that you're rich, maybe you do need some help after all.
Well, listen, the kid was out of bounds. Okay, he was disrespectful. One thing I have to explain to everybody is that Cam Newton, when he was with the Carolina Panthers, he started this when he was at Auburn. He started running and participating in and running quarterback camps for
Hold on.
underprivileged
Wait,
kids.
Can we go back to his time at the University of Florida first and what he did? When he stole a computer and then threw it out the window?
Yes, he
and
was.
got kicked off the football team?
Yes, he was an asshole when he was.
Thank
when
you
he was
very
18.
much.
When he was 18.
Okay, but it counts.
Well, I mean, listen, the extended video.
It's not fake facts.
I know the extended video does show him to be trying to school the young man, because after a while, the crowd parted and he came over and addressed the kid individually. And now we're talking about a grown-ass man of 6'7", 250 pounds, and a 6 foot tall, 205 pound
Was
kid.
it recorded?
Yeah, it was. I just for
Did
brevity's sake.
he physically touch the kid?
No, but he walked up to him and he started to question the kid's playing credentials.
If it was
And-
my kid, first of all,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been my kid, but if it was,
Right, because your kids have respect.
I would have expected Cam Newton to smack them upside the head.
Right.
Now, I've actually never smacked my kids upside the head, but I've threatened them a lot.
Right.
As a Jew, that's all we do. We threaten violence, but unless we're in Israel and in a uniform, we
Yeah.
don't actually do violence.
It's not necessary.
I almost did this to this guy once, So, but yes, if Cam Newton did that to my kid at a football camp, I would be like, good. Don't ever do that again
And be like,
to an
"Sorry,
adult.
Cam.
Like,
Sorry
would you
he had
want
to do
somebody
that."
to do that to you? Like,
Well, there was a coach that sort of intervened towards the end of the video.
maybe the kid lost a bet.
The kid was being obnoxious.
Listen, coming from a former bookie, the only thing that I can think of was Cam Newton slept with his girlfriend, which would have been against the
kid's
law.
16.
I know. Or
You're
he
reaching for
lost
a bit.
do re mi on Cam Newton.
You're reaching for a
I've
bit.
seen worse. Woo.
No. Listen, kids need to have respect. I don't know who that kid is. Actually, I'm not going so far as to find out who he is, but kids need to realize that life ain't social media, and Cam Newton is an accomplished professional football player who has a Heisman Trophy,
So
who has over $100 million
So
in the
as
bank.
a 55-year-old man, you're taking the father approach.
I am taking the societal respect approach.
No, yes, but what about Cam's reaction? Because shouldn't somebody like him just walk away? Like,
No, he addressed him, and I mean everybody thought he was a little heated, but he explained, and he didn't look heated to me.
he explained by telling
He
the kid
was-
he's rich? Like,
No, the kid, he and the kid were doing the repetitive back and forth. The
Why
kid
was
like,
he
"You a
doing
free
that with the
agent."
kid?
So what? I'm rich.
Why?
Why? You know,
Why was he doing? That's the
he
question.
was engaging, and he
Why?
apologized for engaging the kid.
Okay, he shouldn't have been
apologized.
engaging a 16-year-old.
Right. He's like, I'm a grown ass man. I shouldn't have engaged.
Because if he
but
pl-
when he did engage with the kid later on in the video that you didn't see, okay, is that he started to deal with the kid one-on-one as a player. Okay. He extended that fraternity respect as a player and started talking about football. Okay, and one of his coaches or one of the coaches attending there, he kind of stepped in and was like, trying to intervene. And Cam told him, he said, "No, we're just talking about football right now."
Yeah, the golfer in
You
me
know?
would take over. I would have him removed from the ground.
Right.
And say a bye
And
bye.
Cam could have very easily
I would
done
tell
this.
the kid, the door swings both ways. Right? It's
I
always
would've had a hard
open,
time.
but it swings
I would've
both
had a hard
ways.
time.
Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out.
I
Bye
would- I
bye.
would've- The only thing hitting
But
him
he was
in the ass would have been my
disrespectful.
foot.
Well, right. But then in today's day and age,
And bring your daddy back, and
you're
I'll tell
in
him
big,
about
you're
it
in big
too.
trouble. But like I said, I don't think I would have sued Cam if he would have smacked my kid upside the head. I almost would have written him a
No.
letter like, "Good for you." My
Thank
kid
you,
treated
and
you
sorry
like
you
that.
had to do that.
Exactly.
I
Oh, by the
missed
way,
something.
can you sign my jersey?
Could you sign this for me? Unbelievable. All right. Well, we have chewed on that, and we have determined that whoever that guy's father is, should smack that kid around a little bit more. So there, that was a fairly successful RUFKM. Very nice. You shared a moment. And now he's busy over there scratching his. Why are you scratching more notes?
Well, because
You don't
I
need
know
any
it's
more notes.
I know it's coming next.
Well, yeah, but that's after a break.
Okay.
And we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring you Mr. Fazil Malik, and we're going to be back in about 3 minutes here on the Gonzo Radio Network.
I live in Miami. I love living in Miami. My friends say, why when there's other cities with less traffic and a better cost of living? Reason that I enjoy living in Miami so much is because in Miami there's no racism. Everyone down there is equally rude to each other. Especially like seeing how the white people down there handle being a minority. Hashtag Hunger Games. If Trump wants to make America great again, all he needs to do is build a wall between the Miami-Broward border to keep Miami out. Make Cubans pay for it. Deport people that drive slow in the fast lane to North Korea. And punish criminals by forcing them to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Gonzo Radio.
And we're back. Wow, that's some good reverb. I didn't turn my monitor off.
Oh, I need that
I'm
next
still
time.
a little rusty.
Next time I'm in bed with my wife, I need a little reverb.
No reverb for you.
Oh no.
You were a weird kid.
No,
Okay,
no,
now
no.
let me now wait. Now before we get, we're going to eventually matriculate our way to the 7 deadly questions.
Oh, it's my favorite
because I like getting personal with my guests, and I actually don't know the answers to some of these. But before we get to the 7 deadly questions, I have to ask you about some of the shows. Now, you did, like I said, this was your first actual showcase show. You did 7 minutes. Actually, you did 12 minutes. You blew off the light twice, as Danny Feinman says. You never blow off the light. Danny was shocked. We'll talk about the Packy show last night. But you had yourself quite a show here. That was quite a stacked lineup. I didn't know exactly how stacked the lineup was because literally I had not seen any of these people live or on YouTube anywhere at any time. And I mean, the headliner was from L.A.
Yeah.
had done talk shows and stuff.
It was a great show. I got lucky because I'm a regular at this bar.
Right.
I know the owner. I know the wife.
Gypsy Moon Vape and Brews.
It's in Pembroke Pines, just west of I-75 off of Sheridan Street in a strip mall.
If the Bourbon Barrel Porter says 12%, do not have two.
Yeah,
Trust me on this. Do not have two because you will be in trouble. I'm a big boy and I can handle my liquor. And I had to stop drinking and I get a bottle of water and wait for a half hour, 45 minutes before I could, get the feeling back in my
Ronnie,
extremities.
the owner, really knows his beer, and it's
good stuff.
Yeah, I told him, if you want to sell more beer, stop selling beer that has 10, 11, 12% alcohol in it, because if you drink more than two, you're going to pass
you can't
out.
Drink more than
Right.
I got halfway through my second, and I mean the snifters, the craft beer snifters. I got halfway through my second, and we're talking about 10-ounce glasses.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, and it's so tasty. Bourbon Barrel Porter. I literally asked him. I said, "Was it a good bourbon?" Because some of these Bourbon Barrel porters and stouts that you have, it tastes like shitty wood burnt bourbon. But this was
no aftertaste,
aftertaste bourbon, and it was really good. And they also had the maple bacon something. All you needed was scrambled eggs, and it was a breakfast beer. All right. Scrambled eggs and a bagel, maybe a little schmear, and it's a breakfast
I can't
beer.
have any bacon in my beer, otherwise I'm a Jew. I explode.
Yeah, so, exactly. You catch fire.
Right. Unless I have lamb's blood on.
What's this Trafy beer that you got here? So the show went really, really well. Pretty much every comic killed it, and I mean, this was a show that was stacked with it was stacked with a lot of your friends from the neighborhood there.
Correct. Well, I didn't know how good the comedians were because I was focused on what I was supposed to open the show.
Oh, they were a fucking riot,
and I was given, and they were the other comedians were polished. They were the goods,
Steve P.
I got lucky. Vincent P. I mean, it's on
See No Evil.
Right. Just good stuff.
The headliner's name is escaping me.
JP Cower hosted it.
Cower hosting.
He also opened, with his shtick. So
who's the tall kid?
Oh, what was his name? I loved him.
I swear we'll remember.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You'll post it on your. You'll post it on your website.
Poorly prepared here, but
so. Yeah, again, I'm so new to this, all these names and these people that are meeting.
You talk and I'll look.
Yeah, so I was nervous because the only reason I was invited was because my opening act, when I debuted, I brought a bunch of friends with me, and they wound up voting during the comedy contest. So all my friends voted for me, and I wasn't bad the first time. I actually was funny, and that was always my concern.
Oh, okay. That was Grant Tolliver was the tall
dude. Love Grant.
Grant Tolliver was very funny.
Yeah.
And
also like 6'8" or 6'9" or something.
Yeah, 6'9". No, he was a tall dude. Tall dude. And where's the other? What the hell? All right, JP, you got to put more information on your flyers, dude. Look at me being a douchebag, talking smack. Yeah, but Chad Ridgely.
Yeah, he
Oh
was
my
awesome.
God. Oh, yeah.
So my wife wasn't there, so
Hello.
I was able to tell a lot of white jokes. But I came up with
All
this
right.
idea out of necessity because I had to write jokes.
Right.
And I in my mind, I thought if I have to write jokes, I got to go online and figure out how to write jokes. Thankfully, you gave me a book now, so it helps.
Ixnay on the Ook Bay.
But before I got the book,
You'll end up attending his classes, but
I will.
gave you the handbook.
I definitely will. I look forward to it because I'm in a learning curve now, and my
And
mind is like a
the first thing that
sponge.
Mike Panzeca is going to tell you is brevity is your friend. Get to the fucking point.
Well, that's been my problem all my life. I
He's
have a
got-
long
he-
story to tell.
Yeah, that was a good story, but you need to get to the fucking point.
So my point on this story is
Uh-huh.
I came up with a shtick inside a shtick. So I knew I had to tell
Right, which was
real
your
jokes.
manual.
Right, which
Right.
was the manual. And I thought to myself, and I tried it out on one or two people, and they both said the same thing to me. It'll only work if you sell it. If you really, really,
And you sold the shit out of it.
and I got lucky, I think, because
You did well. You did well.
I had a
and,
good
and
crowd.
you know me, dude. I'll be critical.
Right. And which that's
I
why I
mean,
latched onto you, because if I sucked, Gonzo, God bless him, would be able to look me in the eye and say to you, you suck.
I tell you when you suck. I'll tell anybody when they suck. I really will. You know,
I appreciate
the
it.
thing that I do, okay, if you suck and you don't ask me, how was that? I'm not going to offer an opinion.
Good idea.
Okay, if it was good, I will come to you and say that was good. That was a hot set. That was a good set. That was
Right.
good stuff. But unless you come to me and ask me, I'm not going to shit on your set. You know, and I'm going to go, all right, come here. And I've told a few people that they've sucked. Okay, that was a bad bomb. Okay,
Right.
The only reason why you're coming to me is to ask me,
And it's only
how did I
it
bomb?
only matters if they don't think
I
they
don't know how I
bombed.
got to be an expert.
Right. But if they think they did well and then you told them they bombed, that's
Right.
one thing.
Right.
If they knew they bombed and you told them they're bombed, they're like, okay, I'll get better next time.
The South Florida crowds will let you know if you sucked a
Right.
dick. Okay.
So,
even if you
like-
think you were bad, they will let you know if you sucked.
Within the first 30 seconds, of this bit, I got my first real big, huge laugh. And it wasn't something I said. It was actually something I didn't say, although it was part of something I said. And it overwhelmed me into knowing that, yes, I wrote a good set.
Applause break boner is what you got. Okay, you got a little. I'm telling you, you firmed up. I'm sure you firmed up in your pants a little bit. You were like, ooh.
Oh, felt good.
But wait, I really want to address an elephant in the room that was not addressed. Yeah, no, not behind you. That was not addressed at the beginning of your performance.
Okay.
When you stepped up on stage, you ate shit. Okay, that to me was the most impressive thing. Okay, when you stepped up on the stage, you ate shit.
I
You
did.
fell down to all fours.
I did.
You tripped.
It was supposed to be worse.
Yes, and that wasn't a planned fall.
It was.
You were planning to fall.
I was planning to do worse. So
Yeah,
I
that was
have,
awful awkward.
I have a witness.
You ate shit.
I have a witness because 15 seconds before I went on stage, I came up with
I'm
the
gonna do a
idea
pratfall.
to do a Chevy Chase Saturday Night Live pratfall. So I
Don't do that
I had
anymore.
my podium there. The whole idea was to go up there, turn around, grab the mic, fall backwards over the podium onto my ass. Everybody thinks, boom, and then start my shtick about, the fish out of water. I'm starting comedy brand new. Don't do that. I didn't, but I told somebody I'm doing a pratfall.
and instead, you tripped.
Because I didn't have room on the stage, I had a trip. So I tripped on purpose, but I have a witness that I planned it.
It was planned.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So everything went all right there. Everything went well
Yeah,
with that bit. But
it was a 7-minute bit that went 12 and a half minutes.
and then last night we went to Packy's. Packy's is a sports bar out in West Boca.
Not like you West Boca like you think
No,
West Boca. Take
not
the
like
Boca
that.
out of it and put another like Pahokee name in there, or Jabib, like West Jabib.
Middle to upper middle class, working class to middle executive class, middle management class clientele. Let's put it that way.
That get drunk on a Sunday night, by the way.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
I mean,
right.
A few,
Very important to know that.
A few deplorables even.
When I say drunk on a Sunday night, like it's one thing to have some beers on a Sunday night. You're going out. I didn't think Gonzo and I had a beer, and we were like going there saying, "Yeah, we're gonna have a beer." We're going to a comedy show.
We also had a beleaguered waitress.
Yes.
Who she got better as the night went on.
Well,
because
she almost got into a gang fight.
Right.
So.
well, we'll get to that point.
But yeah, there were outright drunks at this bar on a Sunday night.
We were seated
in West Boca.
We were seated at the far back table in the middle because I wanted a center view of the show, a center view of the stage, and we had the pool table behind us, and the local denizens wanted to play pool.
Denizens.
And
there's another word. You're a cunning linguist, Gonzo.
25 to 35, drunk. Nice, jovial, cool kids, well-mannered. They asked me if I could move so they could take a shot from a certain angle where I'm sitting. No problem. I'm not a dick. I got out of their way a few times. I got up and moved out of the way a few times.
Which is not easy for Gonzo to do.
Yeah, and they
for him to get up and move out of the way once takes about 13 seconds.
Really?
But a few times.
Really? So everything was groovy. They got loud a few times, but they always settled down.
They were not paying attention to the comedians.
Right.
One guy actually had a half a ear on one comedian, and he would always look at them and go, "Yeah, man, yeah,
exactly.
man."
Exactly. But it got out of hand a little bit. And while Nadeem Awad was on stage, the promoter, Danny Feynman, the host, he turned, and also David Sadika. We had two promoters there at the same time.
Picture the Jets and the Sharks.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, it wasn't the Jets and the Sharks. Stop.
It was like West Side Story.
Around. Danny, I heard Danny say, "Hey guys, come on! Can't you see somebody's up there? Can't somebody's on stage? Working hard. Guys trying to entertain over here." And the one guy was like, "Yeah, I hear him. He's funny."
Right.
But
that was the guy that every once in a while, drunk, would scream out, "Yeah, man!
Right.
Yeah, man!"
Yeah, exactly. But a couple of them got smart-mouthed. And at that juncture, and I was listening to the whole thing. I was listening to the whole.
And I'll tell you how I perceived it all after you're done with your side.
That's when you turned to me and you went, "Hey, Gonzo, there's about to be a bar fight behind us."
I warned you.
I was like, "Really?"
Like, Gonzo, turn around. And there's about to be a bar fight.
Right. And I listened for a couple of more seconds because I already knew what was going on. And finally, I just turned around and yelled, "Shut the fuck up!" And that was it.
Would set off. There was a spark. At first, there was a lull.
They shut the fuck up.
At first, there was a lull. Right. And then they got pissed off because somebody told them to shut the fuck up.
They got pissed off because, David and Danny, they're not big dudes. They're not imposing dudes. And they got mouthy back and forth with them a little bit. So I turned sideways like this.
And Gonzo, if you don't know, is like 6'5", 399.9, gigawatts.
Well, wait, I got to show him how I turn. I turned sideways like this.
Which he
now
did.
I've got an eye on Danny, David, who both together don't equal me, okay? But we've got Matt Ross and we got Danny Fallon.
Yeah. So wait.
So if there was going to be a brawl between the comics and the drunk guys,
think about that. A brawl between the comics and the drunk guys. Right. So here you go. Like, picture in my mind.
Ross is a big dude.
Here's how I pictured it. Okay, so first of all, I took off in the middle of it which Gonzo thankfully didn't say yet because he
I
hasn't
turned
set it
around
up
to
yet.
look, I was like,
So,
Tommy,
but
where the fuck is
wait.
Tommy?
But let me
You
just see.
disappeared like a fucking magic act.
There's
You
a
were Houdini.
there's a reason why. But let me explain how this all played out to me because I see the world in 7/8 speed. So to me, it happened in almost slow motion. So the comedian's talking, yada 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 yada. The speaker's already scrambling and throwing out static because if people talk loud, the speaker system wasn't right,
Right.
equalized correctly.
Right.
And you had a bunch of people drunk people playing pool,
Right.
billiards with pool sticks in their hand
Right.
that were there before we even got there.
Right.
And before the show even started.
Right.
So it was their place first. Probably regulars too, knowing what we
They
know
weren't
about them.
playing when we sat down.
They were there though.
Yeah.
Drinking. So
Whatever.
So here's what happened. He yelled back and forth. 3 comics. To me, they were all wearing clown suits. Like I saw the red nose, I saw the the Bozo the Clown thing, lining up toe to toe against these Boca rednecks with beards down to the middle of their chest and tattoos all over their body, drunk, holding a pool cue. So I see this happening in my mind, thinking, what can possibly go wrong?
And not big dudes.
Not big dudes, but aggressive dudes, because they were starting to yell now. So I said to myself right away, why don't I warn the guy who's 6'5", 350 pounds that there's about to be a fight, because I don't want any part of it.
That's so nice that you say I'm
But
350 pounds.
There are some times where I carry a brass knuckles because
Those
I've
are
witnessed
fun.
fights in certain bars before. So if I go there, that's my role.
Right.
Nothing else beyond that, though. And luckily, I've never had to use one. But so you get up and do the slowly I turn step by step like Susquehanna Hat Company, real slow, like you don't want to give it away, and just stood there. And I remember looking at the guy to the far left, and he looked at you up and down and went, oh, man, like that, and walked the other way towards the bar. So this was escalating. And in my mind,
the kid give me the up and down. Okay,
well,
yeah.
because he was in my line of sight, because he was on the other side, and you
Right.
had already turned around the other way.
Yeah, well, listen, the reason
towards
why I
them.
move so slow is because one thing that I have always discovered, and as per my experience with these things, anytime that I make sudden moves, the people will
Yeah.
freak out.
Yeah.
And so I slowly turn.
And it's the Princess
And,
Bride line. You are the Brute Squad. So I thought to myself, there's no way. First of all, they were outnumbered, even though they were clowns, like Bozo and Ronald McDonald, like in my mind. But then I saw Gonzo and I thought, what? Are you kidding me? Gonzo's got this. So I decided to go take a pee and go get stoned real quick.
You ran away.
I didn't run away.
Sir Robin.
I sauntered off.
You are Sir Robin now.
Brave Sir Robin.
Okay, but still, the show went off.
Who's the one who told you about the trouble brewing? They could have knocked a beer or a pool cue over your head.
There's just about to be a bar fight. Poof! Fucking David Copperfield disappeared.
I chose wisely because there wasn't a bar fight.
There wasn't a bar fight.
And listen, here's the thing about me. I've caused bar fights before in foreign countries, and luckily I didn't have any beer in me. I only had marijuana in me.
That guy.
I'm that guy. So if I was drinking beer and that happened and I had more than 2 in me, that night could have been a bit for me, like a better story. You follow me? Instead, I had no beers in me. I was running out of THC. I had to leave a piss because you don't take one. You leave one, and we left. We got out of there. I got out of there. Meanwhile, I came back and Gonzo had everything under control.
Because I diffused the situation. One guy was there.
They take one look at you, Gonzo, and who is going to F with a guy that's almost Andre the Giant size?
I didn't stand up. That's one of the reasons why
You
I
don't-
didn't stand
you
up.
don't
If
have
I
to
stood
stand up.
If I stood up, then they would have freaked out. Kind of, I hate to use the canine reference because they're people, but when I stand up, if a dog is nice and calm, and if I stand up, that dog will freak the fuck out. That dog, rah, 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 rah. You know,
All right,
because
well,
they think I'm standing up to eat them.
That's part of the multiverse because it never happened.
Because one of the guys that I had met at the bar when I went over to get a glass of ice, remember when I went to do that because of our poor beleaguered waitress, when I met him, and he's like...
She was ready to fight, by the way.
Yeah, she stepped right in. Well, she knew them. Obviously, they're regulars.
Yeah, but she was
She knew
taking
them.
our side, though.
Yeah, no, she was like, you guys need to just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's cool.
Literally
They did.
pulled her mask down and said, you guys just need to shut the fuck up, and then put her mask back on.
And then disappeared for another 30 minutes before we ordered the appetizers.
Yeah, well, was waiting for her
It's like
tip.
waiting for Godot, you know.
All right, so we have kibitzed through that, and now we're way over an hour. It's a good thing I'm the boss, right?
Yes.
So we are going to subject you to something that we subject all our guests to here at the Gonzo Radio Show.
Is it going to hurt?
Yeah, sure. It might pinch a little.
Do I have to put on my thinking
You'll
cap?
feel a little discomfort.
And I have to
You
put on
might
my...
feel a little pressure. Oh. You're going to feel a little prick. They're called the 7 deadly questions.
Do you get to answer them too, or just
I
me?
do not have to answer them. I'm asking the questions
Do you-
here.
do you-
I'm not
okay.
the one on trial.
No, but I need to know the rules. Do you do follow-up questions based on my answers?
Sort of.
Okay,
Sort of.
so it's not 7 deadly
Sort of
questions.
follow-up.
It's at least 7 deadly questions. So
It's 7 deadly
no,
questions.
hold on a second. If you ask me one more,
addendums?
yeah, with addendums, because if they come in the form of a question, then the bit shouldn't be called 7 deadly questions.
Shut
It should be called at least 7 deadly questions.
Oh my God!
Can you?
All right.
Okay, I wrote that
You
down. By
making
the
notes?
way.
Jesus
Yes.
Christ! You make
I'm
a great.
ready.
You make a great producer. You're a pain in my ass.
Riga
All right.
was
Well,
a
there are
loser.
7 questions based on at least 7 questions
Thank
based
you.
on the 7
See,
deadly
I already
questions.
skewed
not
the
at least
data.
7 not the at least 7 deadly sins, but the 7 deadly sins.
I'm
Are you
ready.
ready?
Bring it on.
Did you stretch and hydrate? Number
Amen.
1.
Okay.
Lust. If you could sleep with anyone in the world, celebrity or not, man or woman, living or dead, whom would that be?
Off the top of my head, I can think of 7 of 9 from Star Trek, Voyager, B'Elanna
Jerry Ryan.
Torres from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and from Voyager. Oh, wow, 2 girls on
From
the same
Voyager?
show. And Jessica Rabbit, but I suppose if you meant a real human live being, I would. I mean, I had a Farrah Fawcett poster in my closet, but I'm going to say a real live being, Raquel Welch.
Right on. Look at
Yeah.
you. Showing your age a little bit.
I know,
Kids,
but-
Google Raquel
Yeah,
Welch.
seriously.
Google her.
Honestly, in her prime, she was just when you put a picture of somebody that makes you want to smoke a cigarette, and I don't smoke, it's Raquel Welch you use. So
Big girl, bad girl, awesome girl. All right. That's a nice answer, too. I haven't had anybody do Raquel Welch in a long time.
I'm done with that question.
No, you're done with that question. Number 2, gluttony.
Oh.
What is your favorite all-time pig-out food? Only one food, damn it.
Oh, that's
Not a
so
food group.
easy. If anybody knows me, it's I share it with Garfield. It's lasagna.
Lasagna.
Yeah.
Lasagna.
You know,
Any
and-
kind of lasagna?
Yes, beef lasagna, but no swine. And I figure out why. Okay. I was
No
always
sausage in your lasagna.
No.
Okay.
I was always a picky eater. So lasagna is the type of food it hides all the ingredients in it.
What about vegetarian lasagna?
I don't even mind that because again, all the ingredients are hidden from me and all I taste is the sauce and the pasta. You know, like I'm
And
good
the
with
regat.
it. And the regat, exactly. Thank you. You are of Italian descent?
Yes.
Okay, so you could
yeah.
appreciate the lasagna.
Culturally,
What's your
Italian.
favorite lasagna?
My favorite lasagna.
But you're not a glutton for it, like I am.
Oh my God, I can destroy some lasagna. Maybe not nowadays. My stomach and my appetite has kind of shrunk a little bit. As you can see, we had a pizza the other night. I can only eat one slice. I was full.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, weird. Because I could put the box. It used to be able to put the box in front of me and just go nom nom nom. But lasagna. My favorite lasagna is something close to almost like an Italian shepherd's pie. I do like sausage in my lasagna.
Of course. You
I
got to have
do-
swine.
I do like. I love, of course, beef, and I like meatballs in lasagna. I like eggplant in my lasagna. I
don't mind
definitely like
eggplant.
onions and green peppers.
Well, that's in the sauce,
Right,
though,
but
you
the
know.
greatest lasagna I ever had meatballs, sausage, and a sauce with ground beef that had peppers and onions in it.
It's always about the
And it
sauce.
was amazing.
With Italian food, the better the sauce, the better the meal.
Yeah, oh well,
Yeah.
of course. All right, and the ricotta cheese tasted like they just made it out of a goat.
Let's go one step further. What's your favorite like junk food? Like candy, chips? Like if you had to pick that out. Like if you limited to
Wait,
gluttony.
I'm asking the questions here.
Well, I just thought of it. You know, it's more
Ice cream.
interesting.
Ice cream.
What flavor?
Oh, I'm a horrible.
What flavor?
Butter pecan.
Ooh, it's kind of bland.
Dark chocolate. I also like. I also like gelatos. Gelato is really good too. But I'm asking the questions here.
I'm a cookie monster,
Okay.
literally, like the cookie
right.
monster.
You know the only but I
Never met a cookie I didn't like.
A good butter pecan ice cream is awesome. Okay, so on to green. You try to hijack my goddamn segment.
I'm sorry. I knew it was going to be
greed.
more than 7 questions.
Some people collect cards. Some people collect cars. Some people collect people. Slavers. What is your one must-have thing? Like some people collect comic books. Some people collect.
I do have a baseball card collection with
Okay,
over
speaking
a
of
million
cards.
cards in it, but
Okay, sports cards.
But that's I don't even count that.
Well, what do you obsessively collect?
Well, it's not a collection. It's what I want to know. I want to know the question to life, the universe, and everything because we have the answer.
Which is 42.
Exactly. So if I'm a greedy,
hail.
if I'm a greedy, as Daffy Duck would say, if I'm a greedy slob, then I want that question.
All hail Douglas Adams.
All hail Douglas Adams.
Okay, so knowledge.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
Like Q from Star Trek, right?
not Q from QAnon.
No, Q. I don't even know what QAnon is, but
Exactly.
Q from Star Trek. I'm a Trekker.
Do I look
not
like I
a
have aluminum
Trekkie.
foil on my head?
Oh,
all right. On to.
Number 4.
I've got the camera on you because I'm doing something unprofessional. I'm reading.
I thought you were gonna like say I'm masturbating. I was gonna be like,
No, that comes at the end of this thing.
afterwards?
Sloth. Lazy much? What is that one thing that you love to try to get out of doing?
Well,
What's that chore, that task?
Yeah, my wife will say it's cleaning the bathroom. To me,
That's pretty
I
disgusting.
don't want to clean where I piss. You know what
No.
I'm saying? And I don't want to clean where I shit. So it's like the eating part. I don't want to clean nor eat where I pee and
Or having
crap.
to clean up after your kids.
Well, I do that anyway because I'm the one who walks into all the bathrooms and takes out the full tiny little garbage bags and puts them right in front of the door just so they can get the hint. And they walk right around them and right over them. Like,
Dad, did you put this garbage bag here?
no, like, so
ignore it.
Yeah, but they still have to throw garbage in it. So do they actually hold on to it until they walk out of the bathroom and then put it in the middle and say, "Screw you, Dad. I'm just not gonna."
Spiteful teenagers.
Those sons of bitches.
Moving on to wrath. Wrath is a really good one.
Yes.
Okay, who is it that you would just love to punch in the face? Who pisses you off so much that you just want to punch them dead in the face?
Oh God, I'm thinking of Mel Brooks now, and I'm gonna say Moses.
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 He was a douchebag.
What the F was he thinking? 40 years? Are you kidding me? I would have done it in 10. You know, have you been to the Middle East? It's not that big. It took that son of a bitch 40 years to finally
he wandered
settle.
a tight circle.
Yeah, what was he doing? Like, again, 10 years max. I'm going to punch him in the face if I ever see him.
Okay, well, you might get your chance. All right, let's see here. Envy. Oh, envy is a good one. If you could trade places with anyone in the world, even for a moment, life swap, who would that be?
That's easy. I go back to Moses, man. I would take over, teach all the Jews how to fight, and not cut their dicks off.
Just the tip.
Well, it's still cutting your dick, you know.
All right.
Fight, you sons of bitches, fight, because everybody in the world's going to try to exterminate you from the planet.
And weird moils.
Right, and they're worried about, 8-day-old kids snipping their penises
weirdo
off.
with the scissors.
Although it is healthier for you. So
whatever. All right. Try not to Jew things up too much, all right? All right.
That's not my shtick anyway.
And
really.
finally, pride.
Oh.
What is that one thing that you have done or accomplished that you wish everybody knew? You want to tell the world about?
You want my special purpose.
Your special purpose, yes,
Oh,
Maven Johnson, what is your special purpose?
My wife's going to kill me. So, my wife and I have been together since college. I made a mixtape called Hey 19. So, I love her to
Steely
death.
Dan.
Yep. Well, that song was on it, but she had turned 19. We dated when she was 18. And
Right.
So, and we went 4 for 4 on kids. I have 4 awesome kids, but I do have one very special talent. And you know about the bell curve. You know about the top 1% of a bell curve.
Right.
I actually qualify for the top 1% of a bell curve.
Okay.
And it's my pride.
Okay. So, but you never got welcomed into Mensa?
That's not the actual 1% talent I was talking about, Gonzo. It's
not intellectually.
No. I'm a nitwit compared to the Mensa people. Although when I was in high school, it's funny, and I got my IQ results back. I actually missed that closer than most people think because I'm an underachiever. But so I wrote a letter to Mensa letting them know that the amount of points that I was short on compared to the amount of stars in the galaxy and the size of the universe was really pittance, and that they should let me in just on my wit alone. And they wrote me back explaining to me that on a microscopic, nano, cosmic, small scale, right? That I'm so far away intellectually from them that I no qualify. So they reversed it on me. I was pulling the macro, they were pulling the micro on me. So no, that's not my talent. I'm not that smart.
What's your talent?
So, and I'm sorry to my lovely wife, but the public's going to know.
First of all, do not pull your dick out on my podcast.
No. It's relatable, but it's nothing like that.
Because
you see,
if anybody pulls their dick out on this podcast, it's going to be.
I'll try to say this in his a nicest way as possible.
What?
At 55 years old,
right?
My member never has to, without any drugs, without any pills, never has to get soft if I don't want it to, even after.
You can just think about it and you're good to go.
Still,
well, good for you.
Yeah, I know. Still, yep. Not only that, but after I'm done, I'm not done. I don't have to be done. So
what are you, a freak?
Thank you. I am at our age. My wife is convinced, and I don't know that she knows any better as far as I know, that I'm in the top 1%. So that's my pride. I'm not good at anything. I'm not great at anything. I know a little about a lot.
Right.
But I'm not great at anything. But that.
I mean, I do okay, but I do okay for a 55-year-old guy. But for you to be you disgust me. You disgust me.
I know, and I don't tell a lot of people that because
you just told at least a couple of hundred people.
A, my wife didn't want anybody to know, and B,
Tammy,
nobody believes
Tommy's
me.
Dick.
The only people that I've ever told were female friends of mine that have no sexual relationship, no whatever, and
they can't say, "Go ahead, show me."
Right? They didn't believe me. So no matter how I looked at them, like, no, I'm serious. I'm not being the comic. I'm not fooling around. Like, ask my wife. Ask her. And of course, my wife's going to roll her eyes because she doesn't want
He's
anybody
an
to know.
animal.
So I may have to bring.
Let me get
I
the
may
eye
have
roll.
to bring her
He's
on.
an animal.
It's not that. It's just I have this ability, you know.
All right,
It's
so you do cock push-ups. We got you. Okay. Well, I think that's a good ender here with an hour and a half in.
We got to 7 already?
We got to 7. That
Nice.
was your 7 deadly questions. And thank you very much. We now know TMI.
No.
And that's...
I may not share this with like any of my friends now, or tell them, or maybe they'll give up after the first hour.
No, they didn't. And we're podcasting it so we can tell them to watch the whole damn thing.
Man,
All right. Well, first of all, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
this is awesome.
I really enjoyed this. I had a really good time doing this with you. Of course, I had to bring an interesting person on my first time back. I'm just getting back in.
I
Just
think
putting the
that's
toe back in the
subjective.
water.
I want to thank you, but remember, for everybody that thinks I'm interesting, there's somebody else that thinks I suck.
Oh, sure. Well, fuck them.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
next performance, I believe Gypsy Moon's going to have another show in the near
They
future.
they are, and they're limiting me, and I've been warned to 5 minutes.
They're
So
going to
my
bring Danny Feynman to give you a light.
right? Like, don't. Yeah, I'll do the light
Don't
for you,
blow
you
the
son of a
light.
bitch. I'll have 7 lights at me, going on. But the problem with me, I may have to skip a couple levels of comic dumb because I can't say what I want to say in 5 minutes.
Well, you'll get there. You'll get there. But I'm giving
But
you
thank-
the light.
thank you
I'm
for
giving
the
you light a
kudos.
minute ago now. When you started talking about your dick, the light came on. Thanks once again for coming on the show. We really, really enjoyed it, Mr. Tommy Kleinman. Tommy K. Look for him on the Facebook's comedy pages. Look at that Tommy K, and you're going to find a real madman. He's going to tell a funny story. He is an essayist. You're our very first essayist. How about that?
and you're a cunning linguist. Thanks, Gonzo.
I try. Thank you for watching. Thank you for those of you, for all 4 or 5 of you that stuck with us through the 90 minutes, the full 91 minutes now as we go limping out of here. Make sure you check us out on all the social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. All you have to do is search Gonzo Radio, and we are there right at the top because people actually search for us. And if you want to be my friend, of course, it's Richard Gonzo Soligny on Facebook, although I don't really spend as much time as I used to on Facebook because you people fucking annoy me. On behalf of myself and Tommy Kleinman, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys, I'm thinking next week. I haven't got a guest yet. I'm not booked out like most people are. And we'll probably go to the red light show next week too at Monroe's. So we'll have something from there too. Maybe I'll get a guest from that show. We'll see you guys next week here at the Gonzo Radio Show. Bye.
For Gonzo Radio, this is Super Time 6000 2015 for Gonzo Television Station. You're coming to the greater Sandusky, Ohio area. This is Pirate Bill, and this is Frank Welker saying, watch Transformers.